Welcome back to Bike 55. Today we are taking a detailed look at one of the most exciting Benda motorcycle concepts being discussed by motorcycle fans, the Benda V4 600. This motorcycle has attracted attention because of one very important idea, a compact V4 powered machine with the aggressive styling and technology that riders expect from a modern performance motorcycle. If Benda brings this concept to production in the form many enthusiasts are hoping for, it could become one of the most interesting motorcycles in the middleweight category. Before we begin, there is an important point to understand. The Benda V4 600 has been discussed as a developing or expected model, and final production specifications, equipment, availability, and pricing can vary depending on what Benda ultimately releases in each market. So in this review, we are looking at the expected character and potential features of the V4 600 rather than claiming every specification as officially confirmed. The first thing that makes the Benda V4 600 special is the engine concept. A V4 engine in a motorcycle of this size is extremely unusual. Most middleweight motorcycles use a single-cylinder, parallel twin, V-twin, or inline-four configuration. A V4 sits in a much smaller group of motorcycles, giving the Benda an identity that immediately separates it from the competition. The expected engine displacement is around 600 cc, with 4 cylinders arranged in a V configuration. That layout could give the motorcycle a combination of smooth power delivery, strong acceleration, and a distinctive exhaust note. The V4 configuration is also compact compared with some larger multi-cylinder designs, which can help engineers create an exciting balance between engine performance and chassis packaging. For a motorcycle enthusiast, the engine is not just about horsepower. Engine character matters. A V4 can deliver a smooth and energetic power curve, while the sound and feel of 4 cylinders working together can make the riding experience completely different from a conventional twin-cylinder motorcycle. If Benda manages to tune the engine for strong mid-range torque while allowing it to rev freely toward the upper part of the power band, the V4 600 could become a motorcycle that feels exciting both on everyday roads and during spirited riding. Performance figures for a final production version have not been firmly established, so it would be irresponsible to promise an exact horsepower number at this stage. However, a modern 600cc V4 could potentially offer performance strong enough to compete with established middleweight sport motorcycles. The biggest advantage would be character. Instead of simply trying to produce the most horsepower possible, Benda could use the V4 configuration to create a motorcycle that feels different every time the throttle is opened. The design is another area where Benda could make a huge impact. Benda has already shown that it is willing to experiment with unusual motorcycle designs, and the V4 600 concept follows that philosophy. Rather than producing another generic-looking sport motorcycle, the expected design focuses on sharp lines, aggressive bodywork, compact proportions, and a strong mechanical identity. At the front, we can expect modern LED lighting and an aerodynamic appearance. The fairing could be shaped to direct airflow around the rider and engine while creating the aggressive visual attitude associated with modern performance bikes. The fuel tank is expected to have a muscular shape, giving the rider a natural area to grip while also making the motorcycle look larger and more powerful. The rear section should remain relatively compact, helping create a sporty silhouette. One of the most attractive aspects of the V4 600 idea is the combination of modern technology and unusual engine architecture. Benda could position this motorcycle as a premium middleweight rather than simply an entry-level machine. That means we could see equipment such as a digital TFT instrument display, LED lighting, selectable riding modes, traction control, ABS, and modern electronic throttle management depending on the final production specification. A TFT display would give the rider access to important information such as speed, engine RPM, fuel level, riding mode, and other motorcycle data. A more advanced version could also include smartphone connectivity or navigation-related functions, although these features should be confirmed for the production model before being treated as standard equipment. Braking performance will also be extremely important. A motorcycle with V4 performance needs a braking system capable of controlling that power. A production V4 600 could use a dual-disc setup at the front with multi-piston calipers and a disc brake at the rear. ABS would be expected on a modern motorcycle sold in many international markets. The suspension could also be a major part of the package. A quality upside-down front fork would provide stiffness and precise steering, while a rear monoshock would help control the rear wheel during acceleration and cornering. If Benda offers adjustable suspension, riders could potentially fine-tune the motorcycle according to their riding style and conditions. The chassis will determine how successfully all of that engine performance reaches the road. A lightweight or carefully engineered frame would be essential for making a V4 600 feel agile. The ideal setup would combine stability at higher speeds with enough responsiveness for corners and everyday riding. The wheel and tire package would also be designed around performance. A typical configuration for this class could include a 17-inch front and rear wheel, with modern sport-oriented tires providing the necessary grip. Again, exact production specifications should be confirmed by Benda when the motorcycle officially reaches the market. One of the biggest questions surrounding this motorcycle is weight. A V4 engine can be more complex than a parallel twin, and the additional cylinders, cooling requirements, and electronics can add mass. Benda would therefore need to carefully engineer the chassis to keep the overall motorcycle manageable. If the final machine remains reasonably lightweight for its class, that could become one of its biggest strengths. A powerful V4 combined with a compact chassis could deliver a very exciting riding experience. The riding position is also expected to strike a balance between sport and everyday usability. A fully aggressive super sport riding position can be uncomfortable for daily riding, while an upright position can reduce the feeling of performance. Benda could position the V4 600 somewhere in the middle, offering enough forward lean for sporty riding while remaining practical for